It's Afterburner. Mike Gould, Robert Munnich, Monday nights, Amazon Prime, Calgary Flames, Detroit Red Wings. These are all nouns. 15 games left in the 2025-26 Calgary Flames season. That's the best news I've heard all day. The Calgary Flames lose 5-2 to the Red Wings at Little Caesars Arena, one of the newest arenas in the National Hockey League. And really a day for the Calgary Flames, determined and dictated and defined more by what happened off the ice than on it. We'll get to all of it in due time. But of course, we have to remind you, Afterburner is a presentation of Bet365. Hockey fans, check out Bet365's 3-goal early payout. When your team goes up 3, you get paid. It's that simple. Download the app today. Must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly. At Flames Blue Jays in the chat, kicking us off. Bobby and the Buff. I don't know what. Oh, I guess because I'm wearing Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah.
I was thinking, am I suddenly looking all strong? Looking my best. But
there's that too.
It's just this.
There's a dual meaning behind it.
Yeah, it feels like it's never too early to start repping the bandwagon team. And of course, it's all Buffalo all the time for me this April and May and hopefully June.
So you used to be a big Coyotes guy. Have the Buffalo Sabres now replaced the Arizona Coyotes for you in terms of that second team you cover?
No, nothing will ever do that. But I'm a big Sabres guy right now. A big Josh Doan guy. I've told certain people, and I will tell more people here now on the show, that if the Sabres do make it past the first round of the playoffs, I am committed to a Josh Doan jersey purchase. Have not made up my mind yet on whether it will be the royal blue or the black alternate, but it will be made at some point. It's a tough choice, like picking between two of my children, which I don't have. Mike and Bobby, Yasmin, the producer, we're all going remote today because, and I didn't even forget my keys. It's just one of those days to stay home and melt after being chilled by the heat emanating off of that game or the lack thereof. Bobby, the Flames lose 5-2. They get the first goal in this game, but they don't really do much from there. What happened tonight?
You know what? I thought it was kind of a similar script to what this entire road trip has kind of detailed so far. I mean, the Flames, they kept it competitive. I mean, they were in it for most of the night. I thought they actually had a bunch of really good scoring chances. This team just does not have the skill to bury them right now. Like on my notes here, like I'd written down 7 different chances that were, I thought, legitimate grade A's, where either they hit a post or John Gibson made an incredible save, or they just didn't have the finishing ability for it. So they played hard, they had their chances, but they end up losing. So it's another perfect tank night for the Calgary Flames. They went 1-4 in this road trip, which is, pretty ideal if you're in Team Tank.
You took notes? Oof. Well,
that's how dedicated I am to this.
You are much more dedicated than I am. But here we are. It is a Monday night, 15 games left. And as you mentioned, Bobby, 5 games on this road trip. The Calgary Flames go 1-4. Saw this on the Amazon Prime broadcast, and I wasn't sure if it was updated to the end of today's game, but the Flames have now lost 8 straight against this Detroit Red Wings team. Has not been very kind to them in recent years. The Red Wings, of course, entering today's game on a bit of a free fall, and they're not out of the woods just yet because the Boston Bruins look like they're going to get a point and maybe 2 out of today's game that they are currently playing, which I believe has just gone into overtime against the New Jersey Devils, tied 3-3 after David Pastrnak tied it up. So Detroit is, they're still in danger of losing what looked to be a pretty locked up playoff berth for them, but they do get a big win, a game they absolutely had to have. And they battled back. Let's have a look at the first goal of this game, though, because it is a pretty nice one. The Flames have had a relatively clogged top end of their scoring leaderboard for most of the season, with no one really sticking out above the rest as far as the goals are concerned. But a lot of guys all sort of congested around the 14, 15, 16 threshold. And they had a couple of guys hit number 15 on the season tonight. Morgan Frost was the first to do so. And
are on the roster right now, and quite honestly, I don't even think it's that close. He's kind of the one guy in the NHL roster who can make those, cross ice passes. He can thread pucks through 2 or 3 different sticks. He sees the ice differently. He sees the game differently compared to everybody else, and this is just another example of it. And what I love about this play here is that he's just so patient. He holds onto the puck for like an extra half second to open up a passing lane to hit Matt Coronado in stride. And I bet you most forwards they'll just pass it over. They'll try to sauce it. They'll try to rush it. Gridden doesn't do that. I think he sees the game at such a high level, and just another example here of it. And I think he's their most exciting prospect right now.
It's good analysis. I mean, Darren Thomas 45-48 earlier in the not in the super chats, but in the chat. I like Bobby Germany's analysis, and you're right. He's
so
on
much.
the ball right there. And we saw Zane Parekh try to do something similar later in the game on his 2-on-1 with Victor Olofsson. We'll get to that. I think Zane would admit he probably should have shot that one. But nevertheless, the Flames led 1-0 in this game. It all unraveled from there. Before we get to it, though, folks, just remember, you can get in on the show. You can get that comment that you really want us to have read on the show. You can do that through the Afterburner Super Chat. Proceeds from which go to the Youth Centers of Calgary, a place where kids are welcomed and accepted as they are, where they can get a break from the chronic stress that is a reality for many of their lives, where they can flourish through connections and fun. Get in on at any time, literally any time. We'll read them periodically throughout the show. It's a great way to get involved. The Red Wings got involved in the scoring shortly after the start of period number 2. They scored 4 goals on 10 shots, I believe, in the second period. They ended up getting outshot 27-25 in this game, but it was Patrick Kane who got the Red Wings' first goal of the
Kane game. I thought they were the two best players on the ice, by far the two most dangerous players on the ice. They were rock solid for Detroit, and basically the reason they won this game tonight. And yeah, that goal was like vintage Patrick Kane right there. That was sick.
Yeah, well, it was needed for a Detroit team that is without Dylan Larkin and without Andrew Kopp. And you can say that maybe it hasn't happened enough this season, but maybe they just need to play the Calgary Flames a little bit more, because we saw more of it as the game went on. Another guy who started strong this season but has fallen off a little bit of late is Alberta's own Emmett Finney, who, I mean, I think had scored something like 1 goal in the last 2-3 months, 1 goal in all of 2026 before this game. And I sort of mentioned on the pre-show as being,
but the ones they did were super dangerous. And like I said, they did kind of hang Dustin Wolf out to dry there. I think you'd almost rather allow, an additional 10 shots from the outside and take away 1 or 2 of those high danger chances. But that's just not what happened tonight. And they turned the puck over like crazy. They were sloppy tonight. I found that they weren't very connected. They had a hard time making consecutive tape-to-tape passes. Just the talent level of this group it's just very low right now, which is a good thing. It's good for the long-term approach for this team. But yeah, it's tough to watch sometimes these days.
It is. Folks, reminder, we are just about 6 weeks until the draft lottery. May 4th is that fateful day. We shall see what occurs all that time in the future. For now, though, it was Patrick Kane again, getting what ended up being the game-winning goal. He's 12th of the season. DeBrincat and Comfer with the helpers on this one. As again, I mean, it's Patrick Kane. He is Patrick Kane from Buffalo. Some folks in the chat are not. Well, let's just say the reviews are mixed. Anything is Pospisil. Mike with the Thomas Vanek jersey, were you even alive when they wore those? Of course I was alive. Come on. It hasn't been that long. It's been, 15 years since they made the playoffs? And, of course, as everybody knows, I'm 16. And what's this? Goggles Pisano World. Sabres jersey, what a traitor. I mean, is anybody really mad at Buffalo this year? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's everybody's.
It's like the one team in the league that everybody's gonna love this year. Like, how can you not get on the Sabres wagon?
Yeah, what are we doing here? Of course, like, I will say I kind of have an affinity for the front numbers. I think they were maybe overdone there for a bit. Buffalo was the first team to bring them in, and the last one to discontinue them. And I think they were rightfully the stewards of the trend. I think they're sharp. I like, these ones always got a bit of flack, but gotta love the Buffalo Sabres. They're and hey, the Flames and the Sabres very similar in a lot of ways. I mean, intermittent success, I would say. Although the Sabres before their playoff drought were definitely one of the more consistently competitive teams in the NHL. It's easy to forget that. But now, in the last 5 years, they've gone back to their roots. They've picked up some draft picks. The Sabres maybe started a little bit earlier. They both went back to older jersey styles. They went to the retros around the same time. Mm-hmm. And maybe in a couple of years, they'll be the cream of their respective conferences. We shall see. Wouldn't that be nice?
Heartbreaking losses in the Stanley Cup final just before the lockout.
Exactly.
Warner, a little bit overlap there. I mean, they're
Brett
essentially
Warner,
franchises.
Robin Regier, Steve Monador.
Alish Kodalik.
Oh,
Chad
ooh.
Johnson.
Michael Frolik.
Yeah.
Remember that? Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Jordan Leopold.
Did Jordan Leopold play for Buffalo?
Yeah, he did. Near the end of his
Wow.
career.
Wow. Chris Drury.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. There were a few of them. Paul Byron says Pike in the chat. Chris Butler,
Yeah.
of course, in the same
Oh,
trade.
God.
Chris
Don't even start
Stewart.
with
Remember Chris
Butler.
Stewart? Ooh.
His legendary 10-game run there at the end of the
Yeah,
was it
7 games, 3
17-18
points.
season.
Yeah,
he scored a goal. Yeah.
He scored a goal. I remember I watched that goal. I think it was like in the last minute of a blowout 5-1 loss. Everybody just keep throwing Flames Sabres alumni in the chat, and we'll pick out some of the best ones. Maxima Finneganov didn't play for Calgary. Come on. All right. Moving on. The Flames, it's funny to compare and contrast this next goal to some of the ones that the Red Wings scored in this game. Because not exactly a highlight reel marker for Matty Coronado. His first in 14 games.
All the incredible chances he's had. So, like you said, good on him. I mean, the guys, I actually think he's been really good lately. He's working his ass off. He's getting chances. Just that damn puck is not going in for him. So it's nice to see at least one go in for the guy.
It's been a really difficult run for Matt Coronado, unfortunately. But yeah, you're right, Bobby. Hopefully this is the start of something new. I mean, 15 games left in the 25-26 season. We said it on the pre-show. We'll maybe litigate it again on the post-game show. In those 15 games, the following Flames players need the following amount of goals to get to 20. We have Coleman and Farabee who need 4 apiece, I believe. Frost, Coronado, Backlund need 5 apiece. Yegor needs 6. Zary needs 10. I don't think Zary's getting there. But I mean, maybe it could happen with some of those guys. I don't know.
Out of all of them, it's got to be Coronado. I mean, just with the way that he's generating chances now in the shot, I think he's probably the one that's going to come closest. But Blake Coleman's got 16 and 55 games. I mean, had he played a full season, he would have scored 20 goals. He's on pace for it.
Yeah. It's been a weird year, Bobby. It's a year where the Flames don't have a whole lot of swagger and a whole lot of spark. And I don't know. I mean, it just feels like they need a little bit more power in their offense. It feels like they need, something that gives them a little bit of a boost, kind of like a standard I-Force engine in one of those Toyota Tacomas. I don't know about you, Bobby, but when you look at those Prairie Toyota dealers and the Tacomas that they've got available over at shoptoyota.ca during red tag days, I mean, it's the most powerful Tacoma ever. So if you're hauling gear to the rink or heading to an away game or looking to pick up Rhett from, the Unicorn on one of his off nights, you can use the panoramic multi-terrain view monitor to give you a live underfloor view to navigate even the toughest terrain with ease. Because with Rhett, he's going to take the back roads. He's going to find a weird spot to try and lay down after a heavy night. So go check out one of those new Tacomas over at the Prairie Toyota dealers. They'll treat you right. And yeah, once again, shoptoyota.ca. Do you think Rhett goes to the Unicorn and then stumbles into the alley and has to call a Tacoma driver to come pick him up? Boy, that's a really sweaty analogy, isn't it?
I was out for a walk the other night down 4th Street and I saw Rhett. And
Did you?
He's coming out of the Unicorn stumbling, just like you said. So I think you're bang on with your analysis here.
Thank you, Bobby. I'm glad you were able to validate the anecdote that I just came in off the top of my head. Appreciate that. Hey, you know what else has a lot of power is Moritz Seider's shot from the point. I mean, not necessarily drafted to be that guy by Detroit, but he's really grown into that role over the last.
When he was selected 6th overall. And I don't think I've ever heard like a collective gasp among a crowd at a draft before when he got picked, because a lot of people had him, going kind of like the late teens around that area, or maybe early teens. And, the Steve Yzerman gets up there, selects Moritz Seider, and everyone in the building was like, whoa, like, holy shit, this is crazy. Yeah. And he's turned in, I mean, I'll take a look at the 2019 draft. I would argue he's probably turned into the best player out of that whole group. It's either him or Jack Hughes. So yeah, he's a phenomenal player, and I could see him winning a Norris Trophy or two within the next few years here.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, and I mean, the best defenseman in that group, I would say, absolutely, no question about it. And yeah, I mean, it's really him, Hughes, Cole Caulfield, Dustin
Boldy.
Wolf.
Yeah,
Really, I
Wolf.
mean,
Yeah.
it's not the greatest draft, I will say.
No, it's not.
So yeah, I mean, the Red Wings like what they saw, and there you go. It seems to have paid off. The Flames tried to push, sort of, kind of, not really. The third period was pretty darn sloppy. Not a lot of great looks. There were a couple earlier on. John Gibson made some nice saves. We did see, of course, Zane Parekh bearing in on a 2-on-1 with Victor Olofsson.
Shoot it. Shoot it,
yeah,
Zane. God damn it. Come on.
You got to shoot this puck if you're Zane Parekh. I mean, you're looking here, and Justin Falk is cheating. You can see him kind of leaning back the other way. It's a tough one, but Zane, you're the guy who scored 66 goals in the OHL in the last 2 seasons. You got to shoot that puck.
This to me is just a sign that Parekh is not all that confident right now.
Oh, that's tough.
And you're like Falk gives him the shot. It's just like, take the damn shot. And like you said, like, he's so good. He's got a great wrist shot. Just take the damn thing. Hopefully he'll learn from that.
Never a great sign when you wait long enough that Patrick Kane is able to break up a 2-on-1.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
That's a little tricky.
That was just him like deferring to a vet, though. Yeah. If he had a little bit more confidence, a little bit more swagger this game, I can almost guarantee he takes that shot. But I just think he's kind of double clutching right now. Like, okay, so we got the whole load management thing going on here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that? Like, do you think this is almost like hurting Zane Parekh's confidence? Is this helping him, or is this hurting him, you think?
Maybe.
Or a little bit of both.
I think you'd have to ask him. I don't have a whole lot of take. I don't really have a take from it. I feel like I don't have enough information to properly gauge. I find, like, I would obviously rather he play. I just find the discourse kind of boring, personally. I mean, I get it. I get it why fans are upset. I want to see this guy play just as much as anybody does. By the same token, with Parekh, I have not seen consistent wow factor at this point to say, oh God, really? He's not playing? Or with Brustevich for that matter. I think they've both been very, very capable players in, the right usage. I think they've both had plenty of moments where they've looked way, flying without a parachute. To me, it's just not a topic that I really, at this point, care all that much about.
Yeah. Well, especially at this point in the season, nothing really matters right now, but it's just, at the same time, it's like you would like to get these guys in the lineup every single night, let them make their mistakes, let them try to figure out what works in the NHL, what doesn't work in the NHL. Yep. You can't do that when you're sitting in the press box. The Brustevich one is the kind of mind-boggling one to me. He only played in 2 games on this road trip. It's, why are you even bringing this guy up if you're only going to play him 2 out of 5 games? Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I really hope that he gets some more looks here, because you don't need to play Joel Hanley every night. You really don't.
Sure.
When there's nothing on the line here, like, just put Joel Hanley in the press box for the rest of the season. Same thing goes for Victor Olofsson. Yeah. Same thing goes for guys like Ryan Lomberg and Johnny Beecher and Martin Pospisil. Like, these guys do not need to play every single night. Let's get some young guys in here, because the season is over. Nobody gives a shit about wins and losses right now. It seems like Ryan Huska is the only guy that does, and it's bizarre.
What do you think's going to happen with Marty Pospisil here? Because he's got 3 years left on this deal. Kind of a conspicuous inclusion in that list. Considering the other guys are all pending free agents. What's the situation with Marty right now?
I was going to ask you about him too, because I think it's pretty interesting. Okay, so this season, from what we've seen in a relatively short or small sample size, I have not really liked his game. Mm-hmm. The speed is gone. Even if you go take a look at the NHL edge numbers, his speed is way down from last year. So the skating's not there. He's not quite as physical. He's not really driving the net as much. I find his game is very vanilla, and he can't play that way if he wants to be successful. And I don't know if it's because he's being conservative with all the concussions he's had. I don't know what's really happening. And the Flames, they have a ton of forwards in this organization. Is he starting to get on the outside and on the outside and looking in? That's kind of what I'm wondering right now. How's a guy like Adam Klapka past him? Are there a couple of young guys? Is Brennan Othman going to pass him next year? These are all kind of questions I have about Marty right now. But if I were to kind of come to a conclusion, I would say bring him back next year and see if he can get back to that old form. The guy that we saw for his first 2 years in the NHL, see if he can get over these concussion issues. And if he can get back to that player, then great. He'll be effective for the Flames for at least the next few years. If he can't get back to that player, then I would say you look to move on from him.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this Flames group is all a bunch of the same guy,
Really?
and so ultimately, one as opposed to the other, and at this point, it even extends to some of the prospects. I mean, again, I just have a tough time looking at the final 15 games of the season and saying, I'm really amped up to watch Hunter Brzustevich. As much as I think he deserves to play, and as much as I am a believer in his potential, it's not, to me, it's not a particularly riveting discussion. And the same goes with Marty Pospisil versus Adam Klapka, two perfectly likable players who have places in the NHL. And that's about it, right? I mean, and we can talk about wanting to recall Rory Cairns and talk about wanting to bring up William Stromgren and Idar Suniev and boy, who else? And they're all the same player.
Yeah.
They're all the same player. And so to me, I mean, it just sort of limits my enthusiasm for discussing the pros and cons of these respective players. Now, I grant you, there are flashes. There are flashes with Zane. There are flashes with Gridden. There are flashes with Brzustevich. There are flashes with Zary and with Coronado. But they need a lot. They need a lot of help. And so we'll see. I'm really looking forward to the draft, Bobby, because the way that it tends to happen, the way that these rebuilds tend to take a step forward is a lot of things happen all at once. We see it almost every time there is a team that is about to crest, about to come out of a stage of a lot of suffering. I remember the year that the Leafs started to turn the corner after they were stuck in the Dave Nonis years and stuck in the Brian Burke years. Mm-hmm. And they had Matthews, they had Marner, they had Nylander, they had 9 rookies that year all at once, who, not only do you have the foundational players coming in and establishing themselves, but you also had a supporting cast that kind of established itself at the same time. And, it's not always that abrupt. It's not always that defined, but until that happens with the Calgary Flames, you are waiting for Matt Coronado to be part of a roster that has a star on it. A roster that features Matt Coronado as the driving piece is just going to be really difficult to watch. And so, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. And the problem that the Flames face is the type of player that they need. There may be only 30, 40 of them.
Right.
And so we shall see. We shall see exactly how the final 15 games unfold. Then we'll get to the draft lottery, and depending on how things shake out, they might be coming out with a left shot defenseman. So we'll see.
My kind of issue with like where the team is at right now, and you hit on it there, I think, and it's just the idea that there are no difference makers in this group, no difference makers for the team right now, and really the only one I can see in the future is Dustin Wolf on the back in net. You hope Zane Parek's going to be a difference maker. You hope Coronado is. You hope Kevin Ball is. Kuznetsov, Brzustevich. But I mean, out of those guys, who's like the really like elite guy? Who's the guy you want to go buy tickets to watch? Who's the guy when you turn on the TV, you're like, I can't wait to watch this team play? They don't have it right now. And maybe Gridden becomes that. Maybe Ethan Wittenbach becomes that. But these next 2 drafts here are just going to be so critical to find those guys at the top of the draft. It's just, I cannot underestimate or overstate just how important these next 2 drafts are and picking in the top 3 and making sure you make the right selections. Because if you don't, I think you could run into another situation that the Flames were in from 2015 to 2022, where they're good and they make the playoffs every now and then. And, they've won a couple division titles and they go to a second round against Edmonton, but they can never get over that edge because they don't have those elite pieces. And I actually kind of see Detroit in a similar light right now.
Oh,
Detroit
yeah.
They kind of remind me of the Flames from 2015 to 2022. They have a lot of very good players, but not really the collective group that can get you over the top and go to a West Final or go to the Stanley Cup Final. Like, I feel like they're kind of in the same boat. So yeah, these next 2 drafts are just so critical. And man, next year, if they could somehow Landon Dupont, that would be a game changer because he looks like he's going to be a special hockey player.
Another defenseman, though.
which I'm okay with. If you can get a guy like you can take a guy like Landon Dupont on your team any day of the week, he makes you so much better. And then you can always package up other defense prospects and move out a couple guys too.
Like, to me, the Flames are like if the Carolina Hurricanes' best player was Logan Stankoven. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, ouch. You know, where would that team be without the Aho and the Ehlers and the Jarvis and the Svechnikov and the Slavin and the, you know, like that to me feels like the capped out version of this current Flames roster, which is why they're in 31st place. So, you know, I think out of that group, I think Gridden by far has the highest potential. I think he is outstanding. I still think the Flames will never find true success unless they get a true number one center. And so I really hope they can find that, because this year they're not going to. I mean, maybe they will. Maybe they'll find somebody in the later rounds. They're not going to find it in the first round with this crop of first round prospects, because there are really the centers. I mean, I said it on a previous edition of this show. I wouldn't draft a single center in this first round. They're all going to be overdrafted. They're all going to go way higher than they should, because teams are going to be desperate for centers, and they're going to end up picking up a late first round caliber prospect at number 4. And it's always a challenge. I like Cole Reshny and I like Cullen Potter. Everybody else that they have drafted or that they have traded for, to me, is a number 3 or a number 4. And so we'll see if they can change it up. I mean, remote viewer 57 right there says Malhotra is a first rounder, and you're right, he is a first rounder. To me, Caleb Malhotra is the kind of guy who typically goes in a regular draft class in the 15 to 20 range, and he might go number 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of draft class that this is.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is, if you look at the Flames prospect pool, it's the wing and it's D where they're the strongest right now. You know, if they get the
always is.
Yeah, that you're right. I mean, literally the last time they had a true elite number 1 center was Joe Nieuwendyk.
That's right.
Like, he got traded in 1995. Like, basically, in my entire life, I have never seen a first line center in Calgary, which is sad to say, but it's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I think if you can get an elite winger to play in this team's top 6 very, very soon, that's great. I think a guy like Caleb Malhotra would be great if he was still around with the Vegas pick. I think the team that takes him in the top 10 is really going to maybe come to regret that decision. But we'll see. I don't know. We don't know.
Can you win in the NHL with all your elite talent on the wing? Like say they got Gab McKinnon, say Ethan Wittenbach's a point per game guy, and Gridden is right around a point per game guy, and they pick up another winger, and they got four like really high end wingers, and you know, a second line center who's trying to play first line minutes. Can that get you over the top? Because it's kind of what the Flames were when they had Johnny and Matthew.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I just don't. Barkov, McDavid,
McKinnon, Point,
Eichel, and like you need 2 guys. Like it's you need 2 guys who are better than anybody the Flames have. You need honestly probably 3 guys who are better than anybody the Flames have. You know, the Blues were 4 centers deep that year. People talk about them not having elite talent. They clearly did. Ryan O'Reilly was the best 2-way center in the league that year. Yeah. And they had Pietrangelo and Parayko and who knows, and the hot goalie. You know, yeah, it's just not. You know, you can go on a Cinderella run with no true elite centers. We've seen many teams do it, but you need a true elite center to do anything. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. 2027 might be the year. Maybe 2026 is the year. I'm going to be really excited about who the Flames draft. There are 3 guys who I am very excited about: McKenna, Stenberg, and Carson Karls. And to me, you know, if the Flames can get any of those 3 guys, I will be very, very happy. So, you know, June can't come soon enough, can it, Bobby?
It really can.
Yeah. Hey, you know, the thing that we're really going to need to do, Bobby, is we've got a big studio, a nice studio over in Marteloup. But for our draft party, for our draft show, whatever we do, we're going to need our buddy Derek Newman to find us a even better and bigger and like a cavernous hall, because everybody in Calgary is going to want to watch this thing. And Derek, I mean, he can source anything. He can sell he can sell that. He can sell a house. He can sell a condo. He can sell a townhome. He can sell a duplex. He can help you buy any of those things. I'm sure he could find us a perfectly nice convention center space or large ballroom space to host some sort of gathering of people who watch this show. But really, I mean, if you need a home, if you're looking to sell your home, if you're looking to buy a new home, there's no reason not to call 403-619-6661, DERRICK, NewmanGroup.com. On the show the other night, Bobby, we were talking about our phone number power rankings. And I said Derek Newman, his number is number 2 behind the emergency Holland Oates calling hotline, which we called live twice on the show. Where would the Derek Newman Group.com and 403-619-6661 rank on your phone number power rankings?
It's definitely right up there. I'd put it up there with Ryan Pike's. And why don't we give out Ryan Pike's number live on air right now?
Yeah, here's Pike's number live on air. It's 403-273-7373. And why don't you go and see if he'll drive over to you and deliver a nice slice. Yeah, that's Pike. That's him right there. I'd put Derek Newman's number right up there with 311. Definitely ahead of 911. I mean, you never want to call that number.
No,
311. I mean, I'm sure Derek Newman sells houses with trees that need to be cleared out of the pathway of the sidewalk. So, Mr. Watts 69 in the chat says, Mike Gould, I called it and it was pizza. There. You fell for it. You fell for it. Hey, my buddy Fasib Shaw's in the chat. Look at this. Look at that. I personally draft Super League legend Mike Gould. Thoughts? Fasib and I, we played ball hockey together, Bobby. You ever played ball hockey, Bobby?
Yeah, and when I used to live in Vancouver.
Oh, my goodness.
It's actually so much fun.
It's so much fun. Way more fun than all this stuff. You know what?
What position do you play? I could see you being like a speedy winger.
Natural center.
Natural center. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Two-way center. Are you a high skill guy, playmaker?
I'll focus on my face-offs for a bit. I'll like spend 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time really trying to practice my face-offs. And the second I stop practicing, I will just completely tank in the dot.
Kind of like a Ryan Strome.
Yeah. But definitely I just try to sort of stand in front of the net, which is funny because I'm like 5'8", but I like tipping those balls past the goaltenders.
You're like a Joe Pavelski.
Like a Fasib, he says I'm a tip-in rock star. See, these are testimonials. Yeah, I've got a ball hockey highlight. We're going to get to it later on in this program. But Bobby, let's get on to some other stuff. This is new. This is coming down the pipe. I mean, we've heard rumors about it all sort of the last couple months. World Cup of Hockey coming to Calgary, coming to Edmonton, coming to Prague, Czechia in a couple of years' time. February 2028 will be the time that the Scotia Place will be the site for 7 games at the 2028 World Cup of Hockey. How excited are you for this announcement? And what are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, number one, I am pumped. When was the last time that we had a big hockey event like this in the city of Calgary? Was it the World Juniors in, what was it, 2012 or 2013?
Yeah, 2012.
Like that was a long time ago. So to get an event of this caliber in our city, I think is fantastic. I like the idea of getting the 6 preliminary games and the 1 elimination game. You get 2 times the amount of games that Edmonton's going to get. And, just from like an average hockey fan standpoint, like a guy like myself, if the semifinals and finals were in Calgary, like there's no way I'd be able to afford to like go to a game. So the fact that we can get some games here where like pretty much everybody can go out and check it out at least once, I think is great for all the hockey fans in Calgary. So I couldn't be more excited about it. I cannot wait for 2028. I don't think I've never seen a national team game with NHLers before. So yeah, I can't wait for it. How about you? How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's the first NHL event, like the first major NHL event in Calgary in 25 years, over 25 years since the draft was held at the Saddledome, I think in 2000, the year that they drafted Brent Cron. Yeah, it's overdue for sure. I think, I understand why folks are maybe a little miffed about not getting the final. But I would imagine that was, I saw Eric Francis had a piece out today talking about how it was actually the NHL and the PA that created the schedule. It wasn't, they sort of anticipated there might be a bit of a back and forth, and they were the ones who spearheaded that. Again, I don't think it would have ever happened as a sole Calgary bid, just out of the necessity for public financing. I don't think the government, the Alberta government, ever would have done it with just Calgary or just Edmonton. So,
Totally.
it's cool. It's a cool little thing that we get for 7 days. It'll be a nice thing to christen the new arena.
And the thing too is you're going to be guaranteed a Canada-US game. There's no way they're going to send USA to Prague to play in that division. So you're going to get a round robin Canada-USA game, which is not guaranteed in Edmonton for the semifinals or finals. So you're guaranteed that, depending, like if Russia is allowed to play, like I cannot see Russia, like the Czechs, the Finns, and the Swedes wanting Russia to play in that division. I could see there being protests and all that stuff. So maybe Russia could be in Calgary too, and you could get Canada, Russia, Canada, USA, USA, Russia. That could be super exciting too. So I think there's a lot of good things here. And I'm not too worried about the final being in Edmonton. I honestly really don't care. I think the tickets are going to be ridiculously expensive. And if you want to go to the game, take a 3-hour drive and go. I mean, it's right there. It's not like the game's going to be in Tampa Bay or something like that. So I think it's great for the province of Alberta. I think it's great for Calgary. And I can't wait to hopefully go to a game or two.
Are there any other events that you would want to see at Scotia Place, on top of the World Cup of Hockey? Because it is going to be the top dog as far as arenas go for the next 5-10 years.
I don't want an all-star game. I could care less about the all-star game.
How much less?
I would like to see the draft here. I went to the draft in Vancouver in 2019, and it was a lot of fun. It was really, really enjoyable. And I would love to have the draft here. I think that would be super cool. And I mean, what other big-time NHL events really are there? Hopefully a Stanley Cup final within the next 10 years. That would be nice. But definitely the draft. I'd love to see the draft here.
I'd love to see the World Juniors come back. Obviously, they were here in 2012. I don't know if the footage exists anymore out there, but I was actually in a television commercial for the 2012 World Juniors. It's true. They interviewed me as a young hockey player in my heyday.
Was this like an SO commercial or something like that? What was it?
Yeah, they were the title sponsor. They were like above it was.
Oh, we got to find that. Someone's got to go find that, please.
Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing.
Please find that.
They actually had me. I remember filming it. They had me recreate a shootout goal that I scored once on the ice at Flames Community Arena. They took me out with a camera crew. It was bizarre. I was 11. I had no idea what I was doing. That'd be cool. I would love to get the World Juniors back. And I mean, the only thing is, when Calgary has not really addressed this, is the lack of a second venue. And I don't want to have it at Winsport. I think it would be a bad spot for an event like that. They have yet to replace the Corral. And it just feels to me like the West Village, with everything going on, with everything that's not going on, sure, it's a bit of a traffic bottleneck. It's a bit of a nightmare with Crowchild and Memorial sort of coming to, and Bow Trail all sort of coming to one big interchange there. But it just feels like there's such untapped space to build a secondary venue for this city that would have, the ability to host smaller events, but also, the Wranglers and the Hitmen and the Roughnecks, a perfect size. I mean, if you go to other Canadian cities and the PWHL as well, if you go to other Canadian cities like Montreal or Ottawa or Toronto,
Vancouver.
Well, not Vancouver, because they can't even get a practice rink built, but
they got the Pacific Coliseum, they got UBC, like they got a bunch of good facilities out there.
Even still, the Collie's too big. Like you want to have something that's like 5 to 7K, right?
Well, I got Langley Event Center where the Giants play.
Sure.
They got
sure. So, but even so, like you want to have a secondary venue that is able to accommodate these things. Like when I lived in Ottawa, the stadium, the arena underneath TD Place Stadium was so cool. So cool. I wish. I mean, if they had one arena on either side of downtown, that would be incredible.
Even in Stampede Park too. I mean, there's so much space to build in Stampede Park. So even like a building right beside it, you got the train right there, like all your transportation corridors there. I mean, that could be an option too. But you're right. The city needs a 5,000 to 6,000 seat arena desperately, even just for like smaller concerts and comedy events. And like you said, Wranglers, Hitmen, going to a Wranglers game right now when there's 1,000 people there in a 19,000 seat stadium, it's not great from an atmosphere perspective. Like, I was there a few weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure there was 700 people there. It was a Tuesday night. They were playing the San Jose Barracuda, and it was just so cavernous and so quiet and so empty, and it felt weird. So yeah, they desperately need a 5,000-6,000 seat arena, but the government just spent a ton of taxpayer dollars on this. We know the Flames just spent a ton of money on this arena. They're not going to be putting money towards any new sports facilities anytime soon. So it's a bit of a pipe dream, but I think it's needed. That's where you'd love to see like some sort of private group come together and build like a $50 to $60 million smaller arena. That would be great for the city.
Build it into the new football stadium. But anyway,
there we go.
I digress. Yeah.
Just like Ottawa did.
Like you said, at some point, I mean.
Oh, 100%. Well, they need a field house. Like there's a lot that the city needs. And actually, I don't do it. I went to 67's game as well. Easily the coolest junior rink I've been in. Yeah, I thought it was so absolutely fantastic. Even something like that would be great in Calgary.
I mean, anything is Pospisil talking about how Calgary Next is back. I mean, yeah, like not really. And I mean, there were so many logistical hurdles to that, the whole thing. I mean, the whole West Village is contaminated with a bunch of nonsense. I mean, the somebody makes a good point. You could put something maybe out by the Grey Eagle and get Sutina involved, or you could put something up by Century Downs, which is up by Cross Iron Mills. I mean, you've got one arena that is central. You can put something that is way up somewhere else that you can access via transit. You don't have to have this thing. I mean, that's what Montreal has, is Place Belle, which is their secondary venue, is out in Laval. Right. TD Place in Ottawa, that is out in Lansdowne Park, which is way out by Carleton, which is where I went to school. It's off Bank Street. It's in a pretty trendy neighborhood, right by the Glebe, but it's not downtown at all. So you could, spread it out a little bit. I mean, Calgary's got enough sprawl as it stands. And yeah, you could incorporate a field house, incorporate the football stadium, make it into a one-size-fits-all thing. Maybe even make it baseball compatible. I don't know. But in any event, that's today's edition.
You get the surge in there too.
Yeah.
Like the problem with the somewhat larger venues in the city is Max Bell is a nightmare, a logistical nightmare to get in and out of. Like it's just a mess. And then same thing goes for Winsport too. The parking's not great there. It's tough to get in and out. They don't have like a large scoreboard like hanging from the middle of the arena. I don't even know if you can with the shape of the roof. Like it just doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
Like nothing works in the city, and you have to play at the Dome, and you're gonna have to play at Scotia Place. And maybe they'll tarp off the upper deck for the Hitmen and Wranglers. Maybe that'll help a little bit. I'm not totally sure, but you're right. They got to get something.
Well, we'll see how the new rink treats those teams as well, because we haven't seen them play in that in Scotia Place. So, in any event, that's definitely an onward-looking problem, quote unquote, for this city. It's not really a problem, but it is something that would be nice to have. Yeah. Although it would be something that would be nice if the Flames paid for. In any event, as we move forward here, with 15 games left in this 2025-26 regular season for the Calgary Flames, the next 6 of them are at home. And of course, one of your number one homes away from the Dome, and also a home that can take you to the Dome, is the Unicorn on 8th Avenue Southwest, as well as on 4th Street Southwest. 2 locations, 3 floors in the 8th Avenue location with 3 bars, 1 destination. It is the Sports Cantina with game day $7 pints of Molson Canadian. It's located in the very heart of Stephen Avenue. And the Unicorn on 4th with daily specials, a happy hour, a brunch on Saturday and Sunday. It's your one-stop shop. And during Flames games or on Flames game days, you might get that little tap, tap, tap on your shoulder saying, you're going to the Dome. So head on over to the Unicorn. And, Yasmin has gotten a little bit of secret footage that I've shared with her that is not maybe the Flames hockey that you'll see over at the Unicorn. But just for my buddy Fasib in the chat, we have to put this up on the screen. Bobby, take a look at this. And Yaz, let's put the sound on.
Oh, here we go.
Now thrown out in front. One-timer miss there. Now it's a 5-on-4 and a possible break for Mike Gould. Mike Gould,
Look at these hands.
He's knocked away. Shot
Oh, what a goal.
Out of the
Oh,
box,
baby.
Mike Gould ties it
Oh,
up
baby.
short-handed.
Horrible
It's a
celebration. I just keep punching the air.
13 to go.
Yeah. 81, though. I picked that for Phil Kessel.
You look like Phil Kessel there with those
Oh, I
hands. That
know.
nice little snapshot.
A little limber. A little more limber. But
Little bit.
yeah, no. Just chip. Ooh, hello.
On your
Yeah,
backhand,
that's a
bring to the
horrible
forehand,
celebration.
quick release. God damn.
Yeah,
Mike.
the full clear cage. You know, it's a lifestyle. Thanks, Yas. Appreciate it.
Flames could use you on the power play right now.
I know. I'm
What
occupied.
tournament was that? Who was broadcasting your ball?
That was at
hockey?
Max Bell. That was Riley Pollock, if you can believe it. That is 960 alumnus Riley Pollock, who's now with the Penticton V's as their play-by-play guy, our buddy. And for one day and one day only, he was calling my ball hockey provincials with about 10 people in attendance at the venerable Max Bell. In the summer, Max Bell is a lacrosse arena, and they play ball hockey there too. It was a big deal, Bobby.
So you're playing the provincials. You must be one hell of a player.
Well, you know what, Bobby?
Were you on like a team Calgary, a team Alberta? Like, what are we looking at here?
I could sit here and say that, but in actuality, it was like more of a bigger tournament. And there were like divisions, there were tiers, and I wasn't in the top tier, Bobby.
Okay.
I was a couple tiers down. I wasn't at the bottom. There were like 10 tiers. I was maybe in like tier 3. I can't remember, but it was fun. It was a good time. That was my only goal of the year. Haha! I actually had a hat trick in that game. I actually asked Yasmin to download the whole game highlights, and she couldn't figure it out. So I think she was just trying to sabotage me a little bit. But in any event,
Yasmin, how much have the live viewers gone down since playing that video?
Hey. Oh, do we have an answer?
Not at all.
Not at all. Check that out, baby.
For now.
For now. Thank you. We appreciate that. Bobby, right-handed shots, they're hard to come by in this Calgary Flames organization. We have seen some NCAA prospects bow out early in the NCAA regional tournaments, although we do expect to see more from Ethan Wittenbach at the actual NCAA tournament as an at-large invitee with Quinnipiac. We expect to see more from Cole Reshney as well. They are almost a virtual lock to make it to that tournament. We continue to see Trevor Hoskin play well with Merrimack. We continue to see some of the players in the American Hockey League with the Calgary Wranglers wearing their beautiful St. John Flames jerseys in their 2 games last weekend. We saw some really good performances from the likes of Idar Suniev. Bobby, any prospects you want to give some extra airtime to as we head into the later stages of the regular season for all of them?
Yeah, I mean, one guy I would really like to see is Adar Suniev, who you just mentioned there. I think in the second half of the AHL season here, he's really started to turn it around a little bit. He's been a lot more productive. He was coming off a 3-point game the other night. He's one of those guys that has that kind of quick twitch, like elite sort of dynamic skill set to him. I like his shot. I like his playmaking. So I'd love to see him get, I don't know, 5 or 8 games or something like that here with Flames instead of a Victor Olofsson or whoever you want to take out of the lineup. So yeah, I'd say Suniev's one guy I'd definitely like to see up here. And I don't know if he's getting a lot of love right now compared to some others.
Yeah, he's up to 15 goals on the season now, which ties him with Dryden Hunt for 3rd on the Wranglers, which is pretty impressive for a first-year pro who only turned 21 in November. I mean, we talk a lot about these undrafted free agent signings like Tyson Gross and Sam Borton and Carter King. And, you know, those guys are all good to have around, absolutely. But, I mean, a guy like Suniev, he's really, I mean, to a certain degree, I would say the only true first-year AHLer truly standing out. I mean, aside from Matvey Gridin, of course, who had his little run. But, I mean, we were expecting this year to be a real coming-out party for a variety of guys. We saw Andrew Basha start the year in the American League. We've seen Etienne Morin sort of go in and out and play a little bit more of late. But of that group of prospective first-year AHLers, it feels like Suniev has definitely been the one who has stood out the most. And as we head into next year, I mean, again, he'll be one of the younger players on this Wranglers team. I'm really curious to see how the Wranglers retool as we head into next year, because this has been just a really tough year across the board for a lot of their guys. I mean, it is not common that we see a organization where the NHL club and the AHL club both miss the playoffs. Because typically, if you have a bad NHL team, you got a lot of prospects stewing in the A. The Wranglers, though, it hasn't even been really their prospects. It's been some of their older guys. I mean, it's been kind of tough to watch the middle six of this Wranglers team, and I'm curious to see what they do to add some infusion of talent, because as we see the likes of Cole Reshny and Cullen Potter, and I don't even know, Basha will be back next year. Stuxilius will eventually be in the American League, probably not next year, but the year after. Weeb coming in, Castagna coming in, etc. You need to have some better veterans than the ones that we've seen this year, because the core just has not been at the level that we've seen in years past.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking guys like Dryden Hunt, Martin Ferk, Clark Bishop, Daniil Marianov. Like those are the guys that have not been great this year. And the thing the Flames do have going for them is in free agency, they should be able to attract those quad A guys, because you're guaranteed to be living in the same city and you're playing at the same arena and all that kind of stuff. So, maybe they can go out in free agency and sign 2 or 3 guys to get that team back up to where it needs to be. I mean, since they've arrived in Calgary, they've been relatively successful, maybe not so much playoff wise, but they've been a really good team. And I think the thing that's killed them over the last couple of years here is just the Flames have taken a lot of their talented players, whether it's Yan Kuznetsov, they take Matt Begridin this year, they take Devin Cooley, they took Dustin Wolf a couple years ago. Like it's hard to replace those guys. So like you said, they got a bunch of reinforcements coming in terms of college free agents, which is great. They'll have a couple DHL guys in there too, but yeah, they got to reinforce that group with a couple more vets for sure.
What the Wranglers really need is a local guy who has experience playing in the organization, has 34 NHL games, is from Calgary, has played with some of these young players before. You know exactly what I'm saying, Bobby.
Dryden Hunt?
No, they got to bring back Matty Phillips, baby.
That would be great. I'd love that.
Fantastic. Wouldn't that be great? I mean, it's not like they don't have room for him on the farm. God, the number of guys they've had who have been underwhelming.
Where's he playing these days?
Playing for San Diego, the Gulls. Yeah, bring him back. He's got some NHL experience. He can fill in when needed, but he'd be a good mentor for the farm. He'd be a good captain, because I don't know if they'll bring back Clark Bishop next year, so we shall see what happens with the Calgary Flames farm.
And he's a guy, he makes his teammates better in the American Hockey League with his playmaking. Like I'm a huge Matthew Phillips fan. That would be great. I'd love that.
2-year AHL deal, big money, 400, 500K. Do it. I'd be all for it. Make the Wranglers a lot. Yeah, he's on a 1-year deal, I think, with San Diego. So bring him in, baby. That'd be great for the Wranglers. He's a popular player. I think it'd make a lot of sense.
Well, they got to get some more bums and seats there, and bringing a guy like Matthew Phillips in, who this city loves, honestly wouldn't hurt in that regard either.
Be great. We'll see exactly how it shakes out. Remote viewer 57 in the chat is extremely opposed to the idea, but some of the other folks like it. Anything with Pospisil, Phillips, tremendous AHL, you'd be good for that group. I mean, ultimately, you want that team to succeed, and they succeeded a lot when that guy was in the lineup. Guess what, Bobby? This is where you say what?
What, Mike?
It's Truck Month, GMC.
Hey.
For the end of this month, there is 0% financing for 72 months on the 2026 Sierra 1500 Pro Graphite Crew Cab. It is built to stand out, and it is now available at 0% financing for 72 months. It's got a 5.3-liter V8 engine that delivers the kind of power you actually feel when you hit the gas. It's got a 2-inch factory lift. It's so tall that Matthew Phillips could fit all the way underneath it. So hurry in to go see the Sierra 1500 Pro Graphite Crew Cab in person and take advantage of Truck Month before it ends. I mean, Bobby, trucks. You got to have them.
I'd love to have one.
Ugh.
Hopefully, then if the Nation Network can just throw an extra $100,000 on top of my salary right now, then hell yeah, I'm going to GMC during Truck Month 100%. 100%.
Bobby, that's too forward. Too forward. Hey, you know what? It's quality stuff. I mean, Bobby, have you ever driven a truck?
I have, yeah.
You have?
Ford
Yeah.
F-150.
Oh, Bobby, we don't like that.
I know.
You got to get into a better truck.
I know. I was thinking the exact same thing. When I was driving, I'm like, this thing is just a piece of junk.
I
got to
know.
go to GMC. I got to get a Sierra.
With 0% financing, that never happens for 72 months. I know. We'll get him squared away, GMC. Don't worry about it. Bobby's going to get his 0% loan, I'm sure, any day now. Let's see. What is the chat saying? They're still arguing about Matthew Phillips. He's not an effective AHLer. Okay, you are.
That's not true.
On the sauce tonight. You can talk about if he's an NHL player. He's probably not, but yeah, they would be a much better AHL team with him in the lineup.
It was so funny how much Daryl Sutter did not want to play Matthew Phillips when he was coaching here. Oh, it was hilarious.
It was like, I get it if you would rather play like, a good player instead. And no offense, but he played Walker Dewar instead.
Yeah, Brett Ritchie and Milan Lucic. It's like, come on.
Anyway, Bobby, we got a bet to talk about for tomorrow, and of course, I'm wearing my Buffalo Sabres jersey, so we got to talk about the Buffalo Sabres with our friends over at Bet365. They are playing the Vegas Golden Knights. Of course, the Flames want the Golden Knights to lose as much as possible in the next few weeks, and the Sabres, they're not the favorites in this one. I think we're looking at minus 176 for the Golden Knights, or rather, we got decimal odds. Oh, dear. Let me get my thinking cap on. I know the Sabres are not the favorites in this one. The spread at plus 1.5, 1.44. Oh, boy. I can't do this. I can't.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't know. But the thing is, Bet365, I'm sure they got all these explainers to figure it out. Well, what I can tell you, let me just translate this into silly American English, is that the Sabres are not quite the favorites against the Vegas Golden Knights. Every dollar that you put down on the Sabres will pay you off $2.10 in return, whereas every dollar you put down on the Golden Knights will pay you $1.76. I'm sure Pinder's in the chat, and he can tell us if we're wrong. But, Bobby, who do you like, Buffalo, Vegas tomorrow?
I like Buffalo. I'm actually pretty surprised that Vegas is the favorite in this game. You just watch Vegas, and there's something off there with them. I don't know what it is, but something's not right with that team right now, and Buffalo is on a massive heater. So yeah, I'm definitely looking at the Buffalo Sabres in that one.
Sabres have won 9 of their last 10. And I got the American odds here from our buddies at Bet365. Yeah, the Sabres at plus 175. Sorry, Bobby. Hang on a second here. What am I looking at? Holy smokes. Yeah, the Golden Knights at minus 130 and the Sabres at plus 110. So there we go. The Sabres
Buffalo a lot.
Yeah. I mean, Buffalo and Vegas, they played against each other earlier this month, and it was a 3-2 Sabres win. Buffalo got outshot 29-28, but they got goals from Jason Zucker, Owen Power, and Tage Thompson. The Knights tried to fight back with Barbashev and Dorofeev, but it was the Sabres who held on to it. Our buddy Graham says that it's going to be a 5-2 Vegas win. I disagree, Graham, and I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-0 Buffalo win with Peyton Krebs scoring all 3 goals. And I'm only saying that because I know Graham loves Peyton Krebs. What do you think, Bobby? What's your score prediction?
I'll go 4-2 Sabres with an empty netter.
Good stuff. I like it. Who gets the empty netter?
Go Alex Tuck.
I'm going to say Beck Malenstein.
What are they going to do with Tuck? You think they're going to re-sign him?
I think they got to. I think they will. I think they'll make it into the playoffs. I think they'll win a round, and I think they'll sign Tuck for a little bit more than what Nick Schmaltz got with Utah. I think it'll be, I'll say like $9 million for 7 years. That's my guess.
He feels like too important of a piece for that team, and just even that community too. It seems like he's almost captain material. I know Dahlin's a captain, but he's just good for the community, and he's good on the ice. I'm a massive fan of him. The guy can absolutely fly. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I almost thought it would have been smart for them to maybe trade him at the deadline and then use all the pieces they receive for him to maybe go out and get a guy with term. But I just don't know if NHL GMs have the nuts to make those types of decisions.
Just give him term. I mean, you're not going to sign a better player than him in free agency. What are you going to go sign Rasmus Anderson? I think
Victor Olofsson.
Yeah. Like I think Tuck. I think Buffalo is going to really like that Nick Schmaltz comparable. Schmaltz has played center a little bit, but Schmaltz has been a winger for the last 5-6 years, and my guess is that the fact that Tuck doesn't play center at all is going to work against him. He's maybe a little bit more productive, but he's had similar injury issues as Schmaltz has. I mean, Schmaltz is a guy who up until recently was playing 60 games a year. So with Tuck, I mean, I don't know. I can't see it. I mean, Graham in the chat saying it's going to be Adrian Kempe money. I don't see that in any world. I don't think the Sabres are willing to pay him that, and I don't think a lot of teams would be. So we'll see. I'm very curious.
You want to keep that number around 9 as much as you can.
So.
And the thing is, like you said, with the rising cap, all these teams are now just signing their own players. There's nobody out there that you can sign that's even remotely close to an Alex Tuch. So if you bite the bullet and you do sign him to, say, a $9 million year contract for 7 or 8 years, I think you're going to be happy with that. With the rising cap, with the cap is supposed to go up a considerable amount over the next 3 or 4 years. All of a sudden, that $9 million for Alex Tuch doesn't look that bad. So I think if you bite the bullet now and throw some big money at him, I think it'll be a decent contract for a while.
Yeah, the Sabres already have plenty of flexibility. They got 4 more years with Tage and with Norris at about 7, 8. Like they've got most of their big boys already sort of set up. Doan's deal kicks in next year at 6.9. Killer
Power
money.
and Dahlin are signed for a while.
Power and Dahlin are signed. Samuelson is signed. Like they got most of their pieces. The only way that I could justify not keeping Tuch is if you really think that, Konsta Helenius and Zach Benson and Yuri Kulik and Noah Ostlund are gonna be enough, and they might be. Like that's the thing with the Sabres is they might be. That is a team that is so stacked, in my opinion.
And like if if that happens, then you can probably move a guy like Alex Tuch.
Yeah,
because teams are. I'm telling you, like over the next 5 years here, it's going to be so hard to acquire high end players. And if a guy like Alex Tuch, even if he is 32 or 33 years old, becomes available in the trade market because some younger guys have passed him, I think there'll be teams out there that'll make a move and bite the bullet on that, just because these guys they're not going to become available very often anymore, and teams are going to have a lot of cap space. So I don't see any downside in signing Tuch right now.
This really puts everything into perspective. You know who Buffalo's '1 whipping boy among their fans is right now?
Ooh,
can you guess this?
Let's see if it Peyton Krebs?
No.
No?
Krebs is no.
Who is it?
It's Jack Quinn.
He's been playing a little better lately, but
he's got 44 points in 67 games, and he's their '1 whipping boy. He's got 16 goals. That's tied for first on the Flames. And if you go into any Sabres group, it's tough. They're not huge fans.
Well, if they
so I mean, that's
to the Flames. I'd be all for that.
That's grading on a curve, isn't it, Bobby? So Sabres all day. They're a wagon. They're going to win the cup. You heard it here first. Let's get into some super chats. Proceeds from the super chat benefit the youth centers of Calgary. It's a place where kids can get the help they so desperately need. We got 2 of them so far. Get them in. Get them while they're hot. This is from Van City 3000. It feels like the fan base blames Huska for the slow development of the younger players. What's your guys' feelings on that? This is for $9.99. My feeling is that replacing Huska will probably improve the fortunes of some of the players on this team as far as just raw point production is concerned. I don't necessarily think that he is a huge net impact on this team one way or the other. What do you think, Bobby?
In terms of a coach for a rebuild, a time when the most important thing is young players' development, I don't know if he's the guy for it. I don't think he's really proved that he is over the last couple years here. I think if you have a good team that you're looking to push into the playoffs, then maybe a guy who brings structure and leadership like Huska does, maybe he's the right guy for that type of team. But for a young up-and-coming team with so many important young players coming into the lineup, as the days go by, the more and more I trust Huska less. And I've been a big Huska defender. Like, I like the person. I like the leader. I think he's really good with, with like the media. I think he's a great communicator. And I think all those things are important when it comes to a head coach. But right now, the most important thing is the development of young players, and just, seeing like a guy like Olsen the other night, he gets 17 minutes and Zary gets 10, and Bristevich is in and out of the lineup. Parek's in and out of the lineup. Gridden's not getting a ton of ice time. Like, those things are just mind boggling to me. So, the more as time goes on, the more I'm less convinced he's the guy for the future.
It's a fair take. It is a fair take. It's, I'm very curious to see exactly how they handle it coming out of this season with Huska already extended. I don't know what the plan will be. I don't expect them to make a change. I could see them changing up some of their assistants. We'll see. This is from Mr. Watts 69, who says for $2.79, who is your favorite Flames/Wings player? Turner Elson? No. Bobby, let's let you go for this one first, and then I'll weigh in after.
For some reason, the first guy that comes to mind for me, and like, he only played one season in Calgary, but for some reason, I love Todd Bertuzzi on the Flames.
Great
choice.
I'll
go with Todd Bertuzzi, Flames Red Wings player.
Great choice. Yeah, there's a bunch. I mean, Brett Hall didn't really play much with the Calgary Flames. Yuri Hoodler was a great one.
That's a good
Tons of success with Calgary.
Mm.
Plenty of success with Detroit. Won the Cup. He actually played nearly as much with Calgary as he did with Detroit, which is crazy. He played 400 games in Detroit, 250 with Calgary, and he had 192 points in Calgary, 214 in Detroit. He scored almost as much in Calgary as he did in Detroit. Some other big names. I just pulled this up off of Hockey References tool. Mike Vernon, of course, grew up with the Vernons, playing hockey with some of them. Great family. Jamie McCowan played for the Red Wings for a little bit. Here's a couple of more obscure ones, though. I mean, not to beat Turner Elson, but how about Austin Zarnik?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Hello. Travis Hamonic. Oof.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Austin Darren McCarty.
But here's maybe the number one Flames Red Wing of all time, a guy who was beloved in Calgary and hated playing in Detroit. Who am I thinking of?
I actually don't know. Cam Talbot.
Let me
Eric Gustafson.
Let me give you some more hints. 18 games with the Flames in the regular season, and I think 20 in the playoffs.
Commie.
There you go.
Oh, Mike Commodore. There we go.
There you go. Hey,
very good one.
Well, very much a defined tenure with both teams. I mean, beloved in Calgary, leaves Calgary, goes on to win the Cup the very next season with Carolina, and then absolutely hated playing in Detroit.
Signed a massive deal in Columbus.
Yeah. But like, not only hated playing in Detroit, but hated playing for a certain coach in Detroit. Before we sign off, Mr. Watts keeps asking this. Mike Gould, can you leak another page of the Calgary Flames recipe book? I made the Lanny McDonald meatballs, and Gordon Ramsay called and said he was jealous of how good it is. Release the files. So, Bobby, on our last show, Yasmin might still have this photo all queued up. Well, probably not all queued up, but I did send it to her. I told the story of how one day, like a few years ago, I was out with my mom at a thrift store, and we unearthed a coil-bound book from the 80s called Flaming Foods. And Flaming Foods is a Calgary Flames cookbook that featured recipes submitted by every player on the team, and also like the coaches, the executives, what have you. And that would be an incredible find in and of itself. But I have a signed copy from Ken Nilsson's wife. It was her copy. So probably, Pike made the point. Robert Nilsson probably grew up eating meals out of the book. And here's Flaming Foods.
Oh man, I can't believe this is real. How old is this thing?
A cookbook of enjoyable recipes by your Calgary Flames families.
Wow.
This is from the early 80s. And we will share some more recipes. This is the Lanny McDonald's amaretto cheese balls. Is that what you made? The one that really gets me here, Bobby, is Joanne's All-Star Dessert, which I'm assuming is maybe his mom or something. But it mixes together 3 types of ice cream. It mixes together vanilla, chocolate, and orange sherbet. And that to me, along with 3 tablespoons of light rum and 2 mashed bananas. And
interesting.
Yeah. But apparently the amaretto cheese balls are pretty good. So as the season goes on, we'll continue to feature more tear outs and pages from Barit Nelson's book. There it is. You can see signed right there.
I love memorabilia like this. This is so
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?
I wish they still did stuff like this. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
What else could be made?
I know. There's one recipe. The next time that I'm over at my parents' house, I'm going to look it up. There's one recipe that has that is supposed to be made in a cauldron, and is like a gigantic stew that has like 60 pounds of meat in it. It's an actual, and I think it's like 10 kinds of meat, and you cook it for like a week. So I promise to all the viewers out there that we will return to this thread as the season progresses. No more calling outs, but we will return to this.
It's probably more exciting than most of the games are going to be between now and the end of the year.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
forget. I think Cliff Fletcher made some contributions. I think Bob Johnson, the coach at the time, had some recipes in there.
Very
We'll
nice.
continue to look into it as the season goes on. Bobby, any last thoughts from today's game that you want to send through the truth hole?
I'm out. I'm out
You're
of
out.
ideas. I'm out of thoughts. I'm done. I'm tapping
You're
out.
out of thoughts. That's
It's
relatable.
over. It's over.
Folks, thank you so much for tuning into this edition of the Afterburner. My name is Mike Gould. For our producer Yasmin and for our buddy Robert Munnich, thank you all for tuning in. We will be back on the 18th. I don't know if I'm doing that particular show. I know for all the folks out there who are starved for more in the dome appearances, you'll be seeing them on the 20th in a game that I will actually be at. So look forward to that. I'm not going to be on either the Warmies or the Afterburner that day, so you get a bit of a break. Until then, Flames back in action, taking on the who are they playing? I don't even remember. They're playing the
St. Louis,
St. Louis Blues.
Next. Yeah.
Oh boy, a big tank bowl coming up on Wednesday. Until then, thank you to all of our sponsors. So long for now. This has been another edition of the Afterburner.